Let's kick this off. First of all, Chris Sampson's traveling, so he can't join us. Everyone else that we expected is here, so that's good. Did everyone get a chance to look at the minutes? Nice short minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second. Any objections? No? Excellent. That's all done. First item on the agenda is the inventory of commercial space. Oscar, any progress on that?
No, we sort of got held up with Neil and I mean, there's obviously been some changes, so we need to go back and re-rack what's available and what's not available.
Okay. No, I know you've been busy, so that's fine.
There is one available place as we saw in the email. You know, the three guys, as we know, is no longer in business. So Eric Teets, the owner, is looking to rent it out, and it's a great retail space. So,
sorry, can someone open the door?
Oh,
Richard.
I got it.
Okay.
Speaking of that and just communication, when we get a request like that, like, and I guess this would be a question to Eric actually, do we want to use our email list, our EDC email list to just distribute something like that as an FYI, or obviously he's posting it with you know, on real estate sites or whatever, so maybe he doesn't need us to do that, but we can always use our email list, you know, obviously appropriate.
Has you got a broker?
hopefully, and we
I would
can promote it
imagine,
on social media too.
Yeah.
Right.
I was confused about that because I thought the store was hanging on, but he wanted to rent some of the space in the building. But it's actually the whole shooting matches.
He's moved to Litchfield.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, Eric. Okay, thank you. Gary, do you have anything?
Yeah, we're well on the budget for this year, June 30th. Does anyone have anything pending or on their mind to spend before end of the year?
Gordon.
Oh,
Thank you, Gordon, for coming.
thank you.
How much more do we have left?
Roughly 3,000 to 3,500.
Oh. Did we get some of the signage printed?
Yes.
4 more days? So that's in. Paid.
Yeah, probably we can squeeze in these flyers when we get to that.
I think we just live with it and
That's fine.
we go forward that.
Okay.
We can't go, well, spend it on drains.
And any funds we don't spend, we go back to the taxpayers.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. The next item was how to extend the opening hours at the union. This was something you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, Libby Mitchell, who runs the local in the union, just approached me about this. And she was also going to talk to her board about this, but she would like the union to be utilized more for meetings, for businesses or entrepreneurs to, you know, meet and talk and network, all that kind of stuff. So we just got to talking, and I thought to me, it relates a little bit to what we talk about sometimes on the ADC, whether or not we really directly help entrepreneurs start businesses or just are sort of there for support and information. It could just be a way to a little bit, you know, it's not formal necessarily, not maybe the right word, but just like a way to have a time and a place for people to know that there's a networking opportunity or there's a lunch and learn or whatever we want to make of it. You know, we've had that nice speakers over the course of our meetings. Sometimes we do have things to offer entrepreneurs, and like I can envision something like that where you have a free workshop there or something like that. So it doesn't have a formal structure yet, but it would be on Thursdays, partly because Libby works on Thursdays, partly because I teach yoga on Thursdays, so I'm often there in the afternoon for my yoga classes. And anyway, so.
Do you think there's the demand for it, or we sort of set it up by appointment? We tell people that it's available, and we'd be delighted to host them there on Thursdays as well as Fridays. Or would you envision, you know, opening up and having people come?
I think it needs a plan. This is just more the seed, but I think it needs a plan of and she has her whole email list, so she can let people know, oh, we have these open hours at the Union. Somebody's there, you can just use the space, or we can create, again, we can create these networking events, we can create informational workshops, whatever we wanna do. So I think, you know, all of that is yet to be planned, but just the idea of having those open hours in a, you know, space that's probably underutilized. I know people
No,
do
it's something
use,
underneath it.
yeah,
This is in addition to the current situation, which is you can arrange to have it.
right, currently you can arrange to have it.
This would be in
And,
addition.
yep, and people use it for, you know, meetings, tutoring, obviously all the yoga that goes on upstairs is a little bit different, but, so this would be just a way to, it's always open during these 4 hours on Thursdays or whatever it is that we decide. And then between the EDC and the union, maybe we do create some networking / learning / just get to know each other times that an event can happen there.
Will you be able to get support? Because, you know, basically, if we do this, you, as I understood from your memo, you would be the person who would be.
Well, I wouldn't always be the person.
No, I understand,
But
but
yeah,
that's why we need to make sure you've got support.
she works on Thursdays, so Libby is there. I'm happy to back her up and be there for these certain times. And I, you know, we can work that out. Maybe there's other people who would wanna volunteer.
Right.
Once every 2 months or something. So I guess all of those details, right, we don't have all those details worked out.
Yeah.
But I would definitely be willing to be there sometimes, but I could tell Libby that I'd be willing to be there.
I think it's a great idea, but I think we do need to assess what the demand would be.
Okay,
I mean, I think it's a great sacrifice by you to actually make it available. But I think for your own sanity, we need to make sure that, you know, it will, if you can make the facility available, people will come.
right,
But otherwise, it's true. Any other thoughts on it?
It's a great space. It'd be kind of a great incubator for things like that, networking, people working remotely, connecting, so.
yeah,
There is going to be a meeting room, as I understand it, at the Little Bit, that's rebuilt, right?
I know, I bet they probably will have the conference rooms.
So we've got this room, we've got the Little Guild, we've got the Union. Quite well served.
Right.
One way or another.
so I can talk to Libby more if we kind of, I mean, it sounds like, you know, generally. It's a nice idea to have this space be a little bit more open and available for new types of
Yeah.
opportunities, but maybe we need to get a little bit more specific, but.
I don't know if this is the time and place to discuss this, but is there a reason that the inn couldn't be used for retail?
No, it could be, I think, because half of it is already, so I think.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, seems to me that you know, it's kind of idealistic. It would be great to have some kind of retail thing.
Right,
Seems like a good space.
Right.
And underutilized, so.
Is that legal, Gordon, with the current
Well,
septic?
doesn't have that, right.
It had some tax implications
Oh.
for, but whatever, I mean, those be explored.
Yeah.
But if half of the building is local, it's already, as long as it were that same tax situation, you mean, like,
To just say, I mean,
yeah.
all of the store needs in there, people might say you're supposed to be a nonprofit.
Right, it had to be maybe enough,
So whatever, but I don't want
right,
No, I
to
see what
shoot
you're
from the
saying.
hip and say.
Yeah.
right,
Well,
okay.
because there's several spaces in the building. There's where the local is. The union has the front, the back, and upstairs. Is there currently things in other than the local? Is there?
There's yoga almost every day, there's 4 or even 5 teachers.
On the ground floor?
No, on the second, floor.
Okay.
There's yoga almost every day,
Upstairs,
and sometimes twice a day.
and then in the back, is there some activity?
There's an office space there.
But it's not occupied.
It is occupied.
It is
Yes, it is.
It is.
It is
Oh, Scott.
occupied, okay, that's what I'm asking.
It's 111.
Oh, 111.
I rented it.
No,
Oh.
Oscar can explain.
Well, go ahead.
No, I rented the space. I'm in the space now.
Ah,
Yes,
He's-
so. Yes, as an office space.
Okay.
you-
Try to-
you're on the second floor?
on the first floor where Janet was.
In the back.
She's gone.
But there is another room on the upstairs.
Yeah.
For mental.
He's still. He's still there.
I think so.
it's
Yeah.
another business.
Okay, well.
I mean, it is possible to rent out to for-profit, but there needs to be, I think they have a special agreement then, because I talked to Pamela years ago.
They generate unrelated business income if they rent to a so it's not just paying rent, they're gonna get additional tax
Exactly.
hit if it's unassociated with Hughes Library business, I believe. I don't want to speak for them, but
Okay, well, I think that's a great idea.
Okay, yeah, I'll come back on this, it'll be more of this.
All right. Anything to add on Cornwall, Dave? We have to say, sorry on that.
Well, Gary's been busy with signing.
David?
Thank you, Gary. What's his name?
The bag is last time.
Ah, even I can read that.
Right?
Excellent.
Really nice. We took the same logo.
Gordon, anything we can do to not have it taken down? Other than keep it off state roads.
What was the story? Someone figured that?
It's tough, it's a tough issue, we haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet, but somehow this particular intersection of Route 4, 125 and 4 Lincoln Light apparently has become a black hole of signs. And I've butted heads with my friends in local DOT, and they're just not backing off that these are illegal signs and they gotta be back on people's property. Means no, there's wide right of ways for the state. So in order to be on people's property, you normally have to be in the bushes, which, defeats the point of the sign. But it's also arbitrary if you look at other towns. Neighboring towns have dozen plus signs at intersections, so it may have to go upstairs.
So private property, town property?
Well, the problem is the state right of ways are 25 feet off the edge of the road.
Oh.
So you have to go on the other side of this, generally on the side of the road where it doesn't make sense to have signs.
That's
So-
25 feet.
What?
That's way beyond most of the walls.
Well, by your property there, whatever the stone wall is.
Yeah.
Or 25, it's the way it's
Okay.
connected.
Yeah.
Beyond the road thing. So we're monitoring this because we're going to bat for the rummage sale. And some other things that are clearly charitable, important events to the town, and it is the way the town communicates with itself. We're near that age,
Right.
it just, it's just.
It's the same thing that happens in Cornwall Bridge a couple of times a year. Not for a year or two, and all of a sudden, every sign's gone.
Yeah.
Even the Christmas signs when we have.
Well, I mean, they don't do it.
Yes.
That's not the cost of it, the one.
No, it's not.
Well, this particular thing they mowed the intersection for the first time in a long time, so. But whatever, it's gonna be an issue if they keep it up. It took some signs, voting signs, which are required by state law to be publicized. So clearly somebody's got things twisted.
Good enough.
What was weird is, when I saw many of the signs come down, the A-frames that were on the road weren't touched. They were left there, and I said, well, maybe that was too heavy. Well, or something.
Congratulate you on having a regular size sign, because there has been proliferation in large signs, especially for the Books and Blooms one over the top with a 3x3 or something. I get it, that's too much. But there's
one
this
reason to keep it
is standard generic size, and very nice size, and we will continue to push back on this. They say it's a litter thing, they say, no, these are not beer cans, this is the way people. I said, also, you have a thing with the rubber sand just spread out all over town, how are supposed to people know where it is? Well, it's our property. I said, well, who are you? I said, who? So we got some ways to go on that.
Thank you.
The sign issue I see, because I go a lot and take signs down regularly. The ones that have expired,
Right.
Right.
The ones that have expired, so one day I was walking to the bank and I looked and realized I'm looking at 5 signs that, 30 days past due.
Yeah.
2 weeks past due, last
I've seen
week, nobody's come back to pick them up, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see how, and I only take the ones that expire.
And for Cornwall, then we should take those signs and reuse them. You can
Yeah,
get
that's our intent.
Stickers of the dates.
If they are disappeared, they do disappear, they claim that they will be held for a month up in the Who's Cow up on Bunker Hill.
But they're not.
But again, some of the other ones that were taken were there.
All right, we will deal with the minefield.
So what I would do is put them up, within, because my compromise was to say that they can't be up any more than 2 weeks before the event and then taken down immediately after. Or if you have a daily thing, put them up the day before and take them down the next day or something, but didn't want to.
But the co-op market signs, those seem to have survived unscathed. Right?
No, they're
They're
all-
just too big.
No, they've gone to.
They've gone to.
They've gone, except for the ones,
Well, except the frame.
except the ones down here at the post office, so somehow. That, but I didn't want to mention that. But apparently the post office. Yeah, you can, I mean, the church signs were saved because those are actually permanent signs. But there's limits to how much permanent signs.
I have a question, Gordon, that came up at Cornwall City committee meeting that we had. And I think Falls Village, I just noticed this, and this would be very sort of the opposite of a lawn sign, because I realize the complexity of it, but some towns for bigger events have like little flag, like literally flags attached to
Right.
light posts, right, lamp posts. Have we ever done anything like that for any of
We,
the bigger?
the original Cornwall days had flags.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they were attached to.
They were
light
attached,
posts?
and you had to get permission to power company for that,
Okay, I see.
so perhaps maybe.
It's possible, but it's a power
possible.
company that.
I think you have to see.
Clear in the poles.
Yeah,
I mean, like with a sign like that, if that would be mounted like sideways on a utility pole. Like even if you had sort of like a slide-in thing so that it would stick out into the road. I mean, you would have to get permission from the power company, but. And then maybe that could work. Like a flag,
Yeah.
but it's.
I'm sure if we request permission, we'll get it by
Yeah,
next
no.
year.
Yeah.
Well, next year.
This is time.
Yeah.
But we used to do that for Cornwall, like that.
there was,
Like
yeah,
little flags
but
on, were there a lot of them around?
there was a
different-
dozen.
Okay.
The state has mysterious things at the hardware store at the market. There's a crosswalk, and those new crosswalk signs went up. Yeah,
I don't know, they put new ones up?
new ones. Are
Okay.
they new?
I think they've been there for a while.
I never just noticed that.
Anything else, Mary, you can talk about them?
There
Here's a draft. What's going to be the Chronicle insert, and this will also be flyers and to businesses distributed all over. To share and look, if you have suggestions. 4 events are going to go on this on the website. The whole guide, the goal is to drive people to the Explore Cornwall CT to get up to date and full information. It's not a comprehensive list. It's the teaser and enough info. Let's get going. So we need help. Media reach out, etc. More.
You're cutting off, we're losing the bottom.
Yeah, this is just a draft.
Yeah. So,
You get a QR code. And it's coming along.
this is great.
Yeah, the logo, which is, I love from last year. We were able to
Yeah.
get Neil to just give us a logo, so we can reuse that, so that can become the logo, the ongoing Cornwall Days logo.
You could put the farm markets out there on Saturday morning. You could put the farm markets there on Saturday morning,
Yeah.
as we don't have any signs, people so don't.
Good idea.
Right.
The question is how much can we fit on here? Versus on the website, everything will go.
Right, I'm just, Say,
I think,
No, I think
that actually-
last year we did a schedule and probably found somewhere that had everything on it.
whatever's on.
And we could maybe do that, but this is supposed to be sort of like the bigger, the things that don't happen all summer, you know what I mean? And then, there are other things happening, so, which you would.
Are
see
you
in the-
hearing any guys?
But that's the reason why we didn't put them on, because they are not the things that are happening just this weekend, but we can have them.
I think one line, if you have this
We
one.
can have them.
You know.
We can have them.
All right. Duncan, do you want to talk about the Cornwall Bridge discussions? You're on mute.
Oh, do unmute yourself.
Hi there, sorry. So today we were able to confirm a new meeting time and place. Ronnie and Nicole are going to host us on Tuesday, July 9 at their shop, 9 a.m. Our agenda includes Gordon has agreed to come by and talk about latest sort of on grants and the work that's being done in Cornwall Bridge, and to talk about connectivity. Ronnie's going to talk about his conversation with DOT. Kate or somebody from Sustainable CT will be there to talk about what role they might play. So we're making a little bit of progress and hope to report on that next month.
Excellent. Well, thank you for all the work you're doing on that and all those people. One of the questions that we got was, could we get an update on the septic system and the financing, generally, the timetable?
well, just to continue on with the last Duncan. Just continue on Duncan's thing. So the town does have this traffic pedestrian friendly grant for West Cornwall Bridge. So we have a proposal. So and concurrently, we've gotten the okay to amend our application for funding to allow design work to start on the West Cornwall septic program. So that's big, because we've been held up for a while with our environmental review. So we've applied today to amend our application to allow for design work to start, and that will be covered by the federal grant. So hopefully we'll hear back soon and get that process going. And interestingly enough, there's a lot of overlapping work in that. The first step on any of these projects is to survey the downtown areas, because in order to do anything, you have to know where everything is, and especially in West Cornwall, there's some very tight property lines. That's an important piece of information, which also overlaps. So this is almost like you're doing a comprehensive redo of West Cornwall and Cornwall Bridge. So we are going to have a proposal to hire the engineer that's already been hired to do the septic system, to do engineering for the connectivity, the crosswalks, and things in West Cornwall Bridge, because a lot of the data is going to be the same data and will be done, and it's sensible to have the projects done by the same person, so you don't overlap and you don't have to tear up the crosswalk because you put in the sewer pipe. So try to have things coordinated. So that's exciting. So that design stuff is, on the verge of being approved by the funding authorities. So that's one whole set of money. We have approximately $800,000 to put crosswalk in West Cornwall and Cornwall Bridge, and to redo sidewalks and improve parking in West Cornwall, and put a sidewalk from the market to the firehouse past Bonnybrook, Cornwall Bridge, and across Route 7, which technically has a crosswalk, but doesn't really have a function. Doesn't really act as crosswalk. So this would have the flashing lights and all of this to make the formal crosswalk. So that's big, and there'll be obviously a public participation process in the design thing. So that's sort of a nutshell.
What's the long time frame of that? I'm just curious, like rough.
Well, so it will take basically a year to design the septic thing for West Cornwall. This will, then in the traffic elements will be put on top of that.
Depended on that, I see.
Yeah, so then there's also permitting process, which has slowed us down so far, getting through the federal and state bureaucracies and the comment period and the comments of the comments on top of the comments, and it's just, it's amazing. So anyway, I think we're somewhat past the initial comment period, and then as we complete our environmental review, there'll be another comment period, and then people can comment on it. So then, so there's, what we hope is to be a year of design / permitting, and then we would go out to bid, and then we would take about a year for construction time, hopefully, but it's taken us longer than we would like to do.
So summer 2026 is one thing.
Yeah, so I mean, if we get design stuff going, we can create a certain amount of momentum. So those things are happening. You know, for sure, the money's allocated. We do have to get, the unknown is the DOT. So again, we're not trying to get too crazy on the sign thing. Not that it's the same people, because there is another group in DOT that is very aware of the need to make Connecticut's roadways and byways pedestrian safe and bicycle friendly, and there's a whole thing of pedestrian safety is a huge topic. So, you know, it's a question of who you're talking to and that kind of thing. So, but that's exciting, at least to get some sort of unified design process going in both places at once, which is a lot. So I think that is most of those two things. On top of that,
Sorry, just before you on, will you be able to put in any of the sort of traffic calming ideas that we've been talking about in the Cornwall Bridge project? Or is that?
yes, I mean, that's what's going to be proposed, is that there'll at least be a crosswalk, whether, and there's talk of a traffic table, speed table, something like that. But it's basically, it's a large, it's not a speed bump, but it's an elevated section of pavement which you go up and on and down. So you got the jar your teeth through some other places. But this is actually up and over, so it slows everything down, and maybe incorporated, maybe not in the crosswalk, so you actually have people anticipating that to slow down anyway. Good. So we'll see how far we can push the design envelope on some of those ideas, but the flashy crosswalks have become pretty ubiquitous throughout the region over the last 10 years. So that's pretty standard. So that's better than run quick across Route 7, which is what we have now. So that's big excitement. Another sort of concurrent big excitement is that I had a good meeting with Karen Nelson, Peter Russ, the building official, and representatives of Northeast Builders, who have a comprehensive plan to build their lumber yard in Cornwall Bridge and put everything, the store under in one place. So with a modern energy efficient building. So that is going to be a major
on the site of the tents shelters.
In what?
On the site where they store the lumber.
Right. So it would be a fairly large building, everything we got covered, be more efficient operation for them as far as stuff. So to me, it's a very positive sign that they want to upgrade their operations into a more efficient layout. They are doing well, probably even better than they did before the fire, due to they've got some pretty good hardworking people down there. And I think, again, that is an anchor business to the local community. So they again will have to get a bunch of permits. So I think it's very important that this group support that key longtime Cornwall business when they come to, if there are public hearings or whatever input it needs to happen, because like anything else, there's going to be permits required to do a major building like that. And again, that would then free up the buildings they have now for some sort of redevelopment. So, and, you know, of course, you run into limited parking, limited septic.
Has there been any, Karen told us about the septic issue, has there been any progress on that?
On where?
In the existing building, the existing hardware store?
I don't know what the status of all that is, but I imagine it's fairly limited. I mean, I don't think you can put in multi-family housing
Right.
in there because the lots are so
All
small.
those buildings will be raised and they'll combine with the lumber yard.
I don't think necessarily the buildings will be taken down.
Right.
I think the site will be redeveloped, the building staying, or get reused or rebuilt or something.
Mhm.
Different would happen in that space, which again would, and whether they would, I mean, they are a fairly large company, they may develop it themselves. You know, there's a bunch of different potential uses there, and seen with the success of the market, having that intersection had, I mean, the traffic is real important and a real advantage to that little triangle. So I think those are a couple things.
And I saw some, you know, table umbrellas go up outside the Pink House restaurant. Is that getting ready to?
Yeah, I think I've talked to the people there. They're optimistic hopefully within a matter of weeks, so that will be open.
Right.
Hired full staff and very talented people. So I think that's going. I have talked to Eric Teets, who is the owner of the building with the three guys who unfortunately left town, unable to survive another non-winter. So he is looking for new tenants there. And again, we'll be meeting with him, with the engineer, see how that all fits together, because it may be a way as part of the septic plan to reconfigure some of the parking between his store, the post office, make that better. And also part of that plan too is to push, get, whatever you call it, parallel parking, I guess, in front of the Pink House. So that was one thought. If the road gets widened out in front of the Pink House, you can probably get 6 cars right there. So that would be a good thing. 'Cause right now, the shoulders are so narrow that you can't park there without having your car in the road. So it's like, so anyway, so there's a lot of things in play there. They're pretty exciting. So, you know, stay tuned.
That's excellent.
Perfect. A couple other things too. We amended our P and Z regs, which will be effective July 1st. So it's some text amendment changes that will make it a little bit easier for more diverse types of housing in town, such as duplexes and triplexes. The public hearing on June 11th went well. 11 people spoke in favor. It will also help us get in better harmony with current state statute, some of the stuff too. We also passed a change to restaurant permitting in town. So restaurants no longer need to go through a public hearing process to receive approval. Restaurants applying for special permits can be approved by P&Z following site plan review and all these other due diligence steps. So
food trucks also, does that count as a restaurant?
I don't think a food truck would probably.
Food truck restaurant.
Different permitting process, or?
I think
A little bit big.
we do have a town ordinance that kind of addresses maybe that, but doesn't quite. I don't know. We've got I think it's on their agenda. I should look into that in the future.
Was that to conform our regulations to other towns? Was that
Yes, I think so. It's kind of, it better reflects kind of current best practices and would just lessen some of the burden for some of these hoops and approvals that already have to be done.
Yep.
You know, as part of the rigorous special permit process, which can actually involve a public hearing and things like that too.
Right.
So the fire truck, you know, we've received some bids. We're getting closer with that. So
that's not going to cost.
Well,
Are y'all? I'm sorry, it's still a bit closer.
yes,
It's not cheap.
It's well over 500,000. Yes. We've had some road work, culverts at, you know, Dibble Hill and 125, as the mayor probably knows now living
Forget
down in the valley.
everything, so.
But
Check on the progress.
So, yeah, more miles on my car, yeah.
yeah, but it's a key project because that's a really important, water course through there and kind of getting that dealt with, I think should definitely help some things. Hammond Beach is open. Swim lessons are going to start soon, so that's in the mix, which has been great. Got a good crop of lifeguards down there this year, and so that's been great. Town website, we've seen a nice increase in traffic over the last 90 days. We continue to make some updates to the business directory. We added the new food truck in town, I think, the other day as a new one. We removed 3 guys. I've also continued to make some adjustments. What else? Some of the popular trending content on the town website has been the rummage sale. The Memorial Day guide that we did, highlighting all the key events from Memorial Day was very successful. We got a lot of traction with that. The covered bridge and hiking have also been really popular. And yeah, that's about it.
Excellent. Have we got enough publicity out for the rummage sale? I mean, I think it's got suddenly tri-state appeal.
They do quite a bit of their own publicity for the event, signage, some advertising on the town website. We promote it. I know Explore Cornwall has promoted it in the past. So it's a big signature event for the town. I think it was even featured in, was it New Yorker magazine or something back in the day as like one of New England's top. Yeah, I've heard something about that. So,
Nobody knows.
Nobody knew. It's some claim for fame. Just nobody knows.
I think it's the most extraordinary. Really good.
Yeah.
Terrific. Does anyone have anything else to bring up? No one from the public here?
Nope.
Anyone on the Zoom have anything they want to add? Okay, it's 8:10. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn our meeting.
Second. Thank you, Gary. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's unplugged. Good night. Thank you very much. All for attending.
Thank you.
Can I ask you?
That is a record. What did you?